What's up, guys? My name is Chris, and this is what I've been playing. So that's kind of not 100% true, because I just downloaded this the night of March 12th. I don't know when this is going to go up, so the night of March 12th is when I downloaded it. I saw it on Steam. I was like, let me check this game out. It's made by Klei Entertainment, or I think that's how you pronounce their name. They're the ones that made Shank, Mark of the Ninja, Don't Starve. I never played Shank, but I have both Mark of the Ninja and Don't Starve. Both are really awesome games. I really like those games. So if you haven't played those, go check those out for sure. And definitely, if you can, convince a friend to buy Don't Starve with you, and then just compete with each other on who can survive the longest. That's what me and my friend did, and I think that made that game even extra more fun, because I text him back real quick, like, I survived 43 days, biatch. How long have you survived? And he's like, only 20, and then he would come back the next day and be like 100 and something. So that's how we kind of played that game. It's a pretty fun way to definitely play that. But anyways, we're here to talk about Invisible Ink. What this game is, what it's about. And as you can see, I'm kind of going through the tutorial just kind of to show you guys like the different aspects of the game. I think tutorial modes in some games do a very good job of that, and I think this one does a good job of showing you kind of what it's about without me having to actually verbally tell you every little thing. It kind of can just show you, but we will talk about it. It is obviously, as you can see, a tactical RPG. If you don't know what tactical RPG is, it's basically each character has a certain amount of things they can do a turn, and then usually you have more than one character on your team, so each one has a certain amount of things they can do a turn. After their turn is up, you hit end turn, it's the enemy's turn to go, and then after that it keeps going back and forth, so then it's your turn again, and then their turn again, and back and forth and back and forth. Now what separates this game from most other games is most of that's all true in this one. However, it's the map, it's where you're at, that's really different in this game, because as you can see, it's me running through an area very stealthily, quietly, trying to take out and find the things I need to find and whatnot. And it's very fun in that aspect. Now, as you know, like if you think about like Final Fantasy Tactics or XCOM, which are great games, don't get me wrong, they're one of my favorites out there. They're definitely my favorites out there, especially in the tactical RPG. But usually those games, there's like you have your squad, you have a map. You know, usually the map is in some form of like a rectangle or a square, and basically you got to get through it and destroy everybody else on the other team. Usually monsters or enemies or whatever you want to call them, and you got to do it, you know, by using your characters correctly. That's kind of what this game is like, but instead of a big square map, it's more of a building set, right? And you're supposed to do it very stealth-like. You don't really have stealth in the other ones. There's a little bit of stealth maybe in XCOM where you want to hide behind stuff and not be seen. I know in Final Fantasy Tactics, I don't think there's any stealth really in that game. I'm trying to think really hard, but all I remember was I would just make a super powerful guy, and he would just run through everything. I think, is it the PSP version that lets you have Black Knights? I don't think the original version did. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I would remember I'd make a Black Knight and I would just wreck through everything in that game. Anyways, yeah, so back to this game. As you can see, there's elements of you use AP on a certain character, and in the tutorial mode, you use an agent named Decker, and he's basically kind of your guy you're trying to train. And as you can see right here, here's what the enemies are like. They have a vision cone. They have a bright red vision cone, which means if you get seen right there, they're going to shoot you and you're going to die. Now, there's a very harsh mechanic in this game when it comes to death, and it's very Bloodborne. It's not like Bloodborne, but it's got a harsh element to it, like Bloodborne, where if you're dead, you're dead, and that's it. You know, kind of like XCOM, when your guy died, he's dead. There was no bringing him back to life. As far as I know, there's no bringing him back to life once you're done with the mission. I think there are some like stem packs and stuff like that. So if you get to one of your characters in time, you can revive them on the map. But once the map's over and they're not revived, they're gone for good. It's very, I think right at the beginning of the game, and you're going to see here in a second, it basically spells it out for you. It says, you're going to die. It's going to happen. You know, you're going to fail. That's the point of this game. You got to learn how to deal with every situation and not just basically rush through it, because you really can't. And one of the reasons why you can't do that is because every map seems so far to be randomly generated, except for the tutorial map. The tutorial map's the same in every instance so far. But as you're going to see, when I started up, you saw that I think I had a save file from when I was playing. I wanted to start a new game to kind of show y'all everything going on instead of just throwing it into a random map. And you guys are being like, what's all this about? You can see that here in a minute. I'm going to explain to you that this map is completely different than what I was playing before, and you're just going to take my word for it. Now, like I said, the tutorial is the same. As you can see, there's like stealth elements. So here in those little yellow squares, you can kind of hide behind stuff, and the guard won't see you. It's kind of weird right here because I would be like, oh, I'm pretty sure that guy would see you right there. But right there, I guess it makes a little more sense. That he can't see your hat sticking above the desk, but it's cool. It's cool. It's a video game. It doesn't have to be 100% representative of what's going on, right? Right. But definitely that there's ways around these guys without getting seen. This guy is an armored threat. He can't be tasered. That's why you got to get around him without tasering him, because otherwise you could walk up right next to him and taser him. But I guess because he has body armor, that's not possible. I like, and one of the biggest things I think I like about this game the most, and we'll see it here in a minute once we get out of this tutorial and I kind of talk a little bit more about what I'm doing in the map, not necessarily just showing you all these different things, exactly what's going on, is I like the art style. I love the art style, I think, of every Klei Entertainment games. This one especially is really awesome. Mark of the Ninja was awesome. Don't Starve was even awesome. And when I first got Don't Starve, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to like that game, but I ended up really liking it a lot. It's really fun. So here you go, completed tutorial mission. I hope you guys got to see a little bit about all that stuff, but now we're going to jump into what actually the game is like and how you kind of play and stuff like that. So just wanted to give you like a quick look at it while I kind of talk about it, and now we're going to kind of get into it. So this is your mission report. Shows you everybody you kind of hit, who you got by, who you saw. These are the stuff you hacked, and then items and stuff you used and credit. So you have a net worth, which is kind of like what your organization is worth, and then you have the credits that you actually own and that you can use to buy stuff. Has a very, very advanced kind of, I think, settings feature where you get to choose some stuff that's already standard, right? Beginner, experience, expert, then advanced stuff, which kind of alters the stuff. But then you can do a custom one where you kind of just make your own kind of game, right? And you have different little things called like rewinds, level retries, and all that stuff, and you can kind of set them up. There's an iron mode kind of game, which you kind of, if you've ever seen like XCOM and stuff like that, is basically you can't die or the game's over. But in this case, there's things called rewinds, which takes you back a whole turn, which gives you another chance in case you get caught or someone on your team dies and you don't want them to. One of the things right here I'm highlighting is auto increment alarm. It's definitely something I thought about turning off before, because it kind of messes with you, but it's also a very good game mechanic, because what it does is basically lets you not sit there and just kind of wait with nothing happening. It makes you move. It makes you go do things, because as the level goes on each turn, every time the enemy's done with their turn, what ends up happening is that the alarm will increase by like 1, and at every 5 times things get a little bit harder, and it gets a little bit harder. So right here we have the cutscene going on. I kind of want to show you the artwork. I really like the artwork, and then I kind of escaped out of it because I wanted y'all to see, for yourselves if you really want to see the game and things like that. But basically what ends up happening at the end of that is your headquarters for the agency gets ransacked by what they call corporations in this game. And these corporations are kind of the guys basically who rule the world now, I guess. And they kind of attack your headquarters, and that gray-haired lady gets out with what they call incognito, which is kind of the AI that's being used in the game. It's given a name, and it's called Incognita, I think. And actually, I believe that was the name of the game to begin with before it became Invisible Ink. So in 2074, corporations rule the world with brutal efficiency. You need to strike back, but you'll never win by force. Keep your agents alive with stealth and cunning. Raid the corp facilities for tools and support. The odds are stacked against you. You will fail repeatedly, but each time you will learn more about your adversaries, and every restart generates a new world of dangers and opportunities. So that's basically right there. They're saying that this is going to be hard, and even on beginner, I think I had it on beginner. It's a little difficult. There's kind of a learning curve, but it's not a very steep one. I believe it's one of those games where at first it's a little hard to learn, but it's really hard to kind of master the game. But overall, it's very fun. You'll have fun playing it, I believe. And right now, so you're going to see kind of the overview of the game. Not every game, and the game's not like every little mission. It's not like a mission after mission. It's very XCOM like in this aspect, and you get to kind of choose where you want to go. what you want to do, what you want to gather based on how much time you have left. So as you notice, the AI is called Incognita, not Incognito, Cognita, and it's your AI. It's what helps you hack things while you're inside the buildings. It's basically a very essential tool. Now I have two agents right now that we only have. One's called International, and the other one's Decker, which we got to play in tutorial. As you can see right here, you can see your net worth, your credits, blah blah, all that stuff. But as you can see, it's very not as in depth as XCOM, where you have labs and all that stuff, but you know, got that same kind of feel. You get to kind of choose the way you want to go, what you want to do, and off the bat you only get one choice. But this place was randomly generated because the last time I played this same area, or what I think was the same area, it was completely a different look to it. It didn't look exactly the same as we're about to go. So this kind of gives you an overhead of what you need to do, how hard the guards are going to be, you know, who you're fighting. And one of the things in this game also is very what's it called, Deus Ex like, where you know your agents have like different augmentations to them, and you can kind of add more augmentations to each one. I think up to 2, what it seems like so far. So here we go. What ends up happening every time I believe you play any mission is, and this kind of is explaining it to you right here, is that you get teleported in, but because you break through their shields or whatever, when you teleport, their security rig gets alerted. Now, it's not like a huge alert, and it's not like they're out looking for you, but as time goes on, remember I was telling you there's that thing that ticks, and every 5, it ends up getting a little bit harder and harder and harder. So it keeps you moving, keeps you going. So you got to not only complete what you want to do or look everywhere you want to look, but you got to do it relatively quickly. And it may be sometimes you won't be able to explore everything. You might have to get out because it's just getting too hard. So as you see up in that corner, there's that security level. Right now it's at 0. I think the first level is free. So once it goes around one whole time, it's free. But then the next time things get a little bit more difficult and so on. So here I get to use 2 different people. I don't know what the max amount of people are on per map, so I haven't gotten that far yet. Probably I bet it's around 4 or 6, because I think it'd get a little crazy after after that. So here you go. I can access Incognita, and then I'm able to hack into the systems. And here I actually surprisingly got a shop right off the bat. So sometimes you'll hack into something and you'll end up getting a shop where you get to buy stuff if you really want to. But I only have 500 credits. I didn't really want to use it on those 2 things. I didn't think I was going to need it for this mission or for any of this stuff. And as you can see, I'm kind of looking at the other things that you can buy here. You notice Decker has something called a modded cloaking rig. So in other words, I think for 1 turn he's able to run around invisible. So if people are in that room right over there, I can activate his cloak and he won't be seen as long as he doesn't get attacked or whatnot. She, on the other hand, has actual augmentation, which I don't think Decker has an augmentation, but she does. And her augmentation is she's able to hack things from a distance as long as someone can see it. I don't think she has to be the one that sees it. I think like Decker can see it, and then she's able to hack it from a distance. And what indicates that is right now you can see I can see different terminals through the wall. Like I can see that security camera over there and whatnot, and she's able to kind of sense that. So she's able to hack through. And there's a bunch of different other types of augmentations in the game. I think at the end I end up buying actual tool, actually, not augmentation. So there are different things. There are tools, and then there's augmentations. So once you augment an agent, I don't think you can like take it off of them, but you can buy augmentations and keep them in your inventory until you want to use them. So it's very interesting in that aspect, kind of what you want to do with each agent and how you want to actually use them, or what you want to use them for. The way I've played this game so far is I kind of spread out. So I don't keep my agents together. I kind of separate them and let them kind of go different directions. One of the biggest things you're going to see, one of the biggest mistakes you're going to see is like right here. I just realized I was like, shit, I didn't use Decker at all that turn. So you definitely want to make sure you use both characters and use their max amount of AP to go do stuff. Because I could have probably cleared this area or this map a lot faster if I didn't do that mistake. And you're going to see me make that mistake, I think, a couple times. But then I stopped. I actually start using both of them. I start realizing. So right here, I notice there's a guard in this room by peeking through the door. Now, I was afraid to open it because I didn't want to alert him. I didn't know if it would alert him or not, depending on how close he was to it, or does he actually have to be looking at it. From what I've seen so far now, I think they have to actually be looking at the door. They could literally be standing right next to it, but as long as they're not looking at it, you can open and close it all you want. And I was afraid. And I didn't have enough AP to, I think, actually get to him to actually tase him. So I waited on it. I took a turn and waited. So here I decide to finally, I'm going to go after this guy. So that's why right there I wanted to make sure that these cameras, and I unlock these before I get in here. And then I'm going to sneak up behind him. Yes. And I'm going to KO his ass. So, boom. That's all it takes. They don't turn around or anything like that when you're sneaking around them. As long as you don't enter their vision cone, you'll be alright. Now, I think this whole map I don't get spotted. But if you do get spotted, the first turn they give you a chance to hide behind something that's one space away from you. If it's anything more than one space away and you can't get out of the vision range, then you're gonna be shot the next turn. If you move into their vision range more, where it's a dark red, then you're definitely gonna be shot and you're dead. Like, that's it. If you can get another agent over there, or if your agents are working together and you have, I think, a stem pack, you may be able to revive them for the mission. But for the most part, they're pretty much gone if you can't do that. And that's kind of the steep, like, harsh penalties that you get of death in this game. So just be wary of that. It is challenging. It's not like a simple just run through the game. In fact, in that other game that I have saved, I got annihilated on like the second mission. I was like, shit, this game's tough. And it's because sometimes the guards wander around. You don't exactly know where they're at, or you do. I think what ended up happening in that game was there was a couple guards who just wandered between rooms, and I didn't know that they were going to do that because the game didn't show that to me right off the bat. And so they would wander into a room and my agents are just like standing there. I can just imagine the picture of my agents just standing in a room just going like, as these guys enter, and I got wrecked. So like I said, all it takes is one shot, and your guys don't have, for right now, they don't have an actual pistol or anything like that. They do have a dart gun that you could see I could have bought earlier, but I didn't end up doing it. But I don't know how effective that is, especially once you get caught. So right now, all these little safes and stuff I'm picking is just for extra money. It's very actually good to get money in this game because I think tools and upgrades are going to be very important. And also, as you're going to see after the end of this mission, you can upgrade your character themselves. They have different stats that you can level up. So it definitely has that RPG element to it, that you can level up your guys and you get to decide which parts you want to level up and whatnot. And it's really dependent on how you want to play the game. I'm playing the game right now. I'm not worried about getting spotted and all that stuff. I just want to kind of play it for the way it is. If I get spotted, oh well, I get spotted. But I think one of the leveling up things you can level up is that you can steal from people without having to knock them out. Because right now I have to knock them out to take from them. But you're able to actually steal from them without doing so. And I think those are going to be good for runs where you don't want to be seen ever by anybody, right? And I don't know if you get achievement for that or whatnot. But I believe that that's going to be good for that, right? So depending on how you want to play the game will depend on what you want to level up. I instead go for movement. I think that's probably one of the most important ones, is just being able to have more AP, being able to move further or whatnot, especially in a game like this where you kind of want to go through it as fast as possible. Each map you probably don't want to be dallying around too long, because the longer you take, the more the security level goes up and the harder it can actually get, to the point where you get added guards and blah blah blah, all this stuff. Security becomes harder to take down. I think at the end of this one you'll see that for security cameras it costs 2 power after a while instead of just 1. So things like that really can hurt you in the long run. As you notice right now, I only have 1 of 20 power, so if I wanted to take something out, I would have a hard time. But I believe International has the ability, or she has something on her that lets her gain 1 power a turn. So right here, cool little thing in this game is an ambush. All you got to do is open a door, and that's what I was kind of worried about down there with the other guy, was when I opened the door, would he spot me? This guy saw that I opened the door. I used that to my advantage, and I set an ambush, and as the guy walked through, I just take him out. So down here, what I'm really trying to do with her in this map is I'm trying to figure out how to open these doors. I know I need a key card. If they have a red thing across it, it means you need some kind of key card to get in, or you need an item that can unlock the door for you. I don't have that item, so I need to find the key card, and I just took out the only 2 guards I've seen. So I was like, well, I didn't actually check. So right here, I should have checked to see if I could steal off this guy. I think you can steal off any guy you knock out. But I didn't, because I was worried more about getting this done. So luckily I had some power to do it. And this is the main mission terminal. So this is what I came here for, was the site list. It's in the cool little executive looking office. More like there's a lot of desks in there. So it looks like more like like a library actually than anything, honestly, to me, like a very high-tech library. So I noticed there's another guy down here, and I heard him walking around at the very beginning of the game. So that's one of the cool things, is if someone's like in a room right next to you and they're walking around, you can hear where they're at, so you kind of get an idea of where someone is at right off the bat. But you know, you never know if they're just going to wander into your room or not. So I'm assuming this guy has the key card because he's the only one I haven't seen yet. But I was like, how the hell do I get in there? And then I finally realized, actually, there's another door that I didn't see in the other room. And that mode right there, you hold Alt and you get the grid mode. It helps you kind of see a little bit better, because sometimes these walls can make it difficult to see where you can go and where the grid is and where you can walk and all that stuff. So right there, I finally checked the guy's body to see if he had the key card, but he doesn't. And for a second, I was stuck, because I was like, how the hell do I get through these doors without the key card? And I have no way of unlocking them. So I was like, damn it. And then I finally realized there's this other door. As you notice, I'm like wandering. If you hold Alt, you can see doors. They're all yellow. So I think that's what I finally realized right here. And I need to get in here, but I have to get past this guard that I knocked out before. One of the cool things, and I don't know if you saw in the tutorial, is that when you lock door, or when you shut doors, it kind of throws the guards off. Sometimes they won't go that way, because this, I guess in their mind, they don't, if the door's closed, they think that you can't close doors once you open them, which some games are like that. You can't. I guess I can't blame 100%, but in this case you can close the door, so it can kind of throw them off. Doesn't mean that it's going to, but it definitely helps keep guards in certain areas, and they start wandering around different ways and things like that. So as you notice, as I go through most of these doors, I try to shut them. I don't do it all the time, and if I'm in a real hurry, you'll see that I don't do it at all. Decker right now, he's kind of went as far as he could over here. I don't think there was another door I could enter, so I decided that I need to head back. As you notice, the goddamn camera turned on in this area, and I didn't notice with Decker that all the cameras, they do come back on after a while. So after you hack them, after a while they do come back, so you just gotta be careful. And as security increases, new cameras will turn back on. I think they actually turn back on. Maybe they don't, because those over there on the left haven't, but the ones up there were never activated to begin with, so I think those kind of turned on after the security level went to 2. So as you notice, things got harder. I didn't notice that, and you're going to see what happens when you don't notice that the camera's on right there. Boom. So I get an alert. What it does is, instead of rushing every guard to your area, your security level increases by 1 each time that camera is on and you move in the view of it. So I had to quickly use incognito, turn it off, and then I was fine after that, getting over to figuring out where I need to exit. So what I'm doing right now is I have what I need. I'm just trying to find the exit to this level, and the exit sometimes can be relatively close to you. Like sometimes it's in the room right next to where you start. Other times it's a little bit of a puzzle to find. And in this case, I think it's a little bit of a puzzle, but it led me to a good room where there's a lot of power. As you notice right here, I was able to open that, and he didn't see me. So boom, that's what you get. So you get for being a horrible guard. And in this room, it's very there's that security guard I can use. Now the cool thing was, I got it right here, and I know Decker needs to come in. Now to make it faster for him, all I had to do was go open this door for him. So I used her to open the door for him, so he could get in here quicker. Now she ran out of AP because of that, but the only thing I was worried about was the guard right next to Decker in the same room that he's in. It's got 1 turn before he wakes up, and that could have been devastating right here. But luckily, he wakes up facing a wall. So I kind of luck out there. I'm able to move her back. I think I move her back onto the body, only because when you have them pinned down, then they stay unconscious forever. Plus, I got to close that door, and then I'm going to enter here and close this door. So hopefully that deters the guard from entering here, and then I'm going to use Decker to get all this power from these terminals so that I have extra power to do things. And like as you notice right here, so now I have 5, then I'm about to have 2 more, I think, or 3 more, 2 more. So these terminals help you get power so you can do stuff, so they're very important. I jump off the guard here, and I use Decker to stay on him so that when this turn is over, I'm able to not lower his thing. Now you can knock him back out, as you can see, back to 3. I don't think it adds to the 2. I should have checked that. That might be cool if you can add to the 2. I don't think it does. I think it only stays up to 3, so that they're stuck. Now he's stuck in that trance, and he won't be getting up for a little bit. Now what I'm looking for is, like, what did I miss? Like I said, you see the cameras up there take 2 power now instead of 1. So as I'm going through this, I'm like, okay, where do I gotta go? It must be in here somewhere. These elevators have to be somewhere around here. take a peek in here. There they are. So those are right there is where I'm looking for. There's another door here though. So this is kind of the cool part about this game is, okay, I found the exit, right? I have everything I need, but do I want to kind of keep going through and maybe make some more money, getting some more power? I don't think power is going to matter too much. I don't think it like carries over, but you know, do I want to look for more money is really the question. And money is very good in this game because it lets you buy stuff. And as I move through, I decide that I want to explore just a little bit more, but I'll use her and put her on the exit just in case something happens to Decker. Then I can just escape. If Decker dies, he dies, right? If he dead, if he dies, he dies. Fucking Drago from Rocky 4. So in this room, all is there's a hijack, so I can get more power. I grab it, and now we're pretty much on our way. One thing I wanted to check was I can leave right now, but it's saying that because he's not there, you know, bad things can happen. So I waited, and this is pretty much the end of this mission. Tore these guys up. He woke back up, but that's not going to matter because we are out of here. These Star Trek teleporters. Boom. Done. First mission accomplished. So that's kind of the way I thought about when I played through this game, what goes on in my mind, how I play it, you know, what this game is about. It's really fun. Like, if you like these kind of games, it's definitely worth it. I think it's like 15 bucks, maybe 20 bucks at most on Steam. Definitely check it out. The only thing I wish it was on a console too. But here you go right here. Here's the RPG elements, right? I can level up speed, hacking, strength, and anarchy. Anarchy is the ability to steal. Instead of having to knock them out, you can steal differently, and then as you level it up more and more, you can get more credits from stealing. They can have better items when you steal and whatnot. Strength is the ability to carry more items and to improve dragging people around. Hacking adds more power when you hack different consoles, and then speed is the ability to move more. So I believe it's move more, and it's not more AP. I have to look back that. We'll see in a minute because I level those both up. I'm like horribly informed about this game right now, even though I was playing it. So basically, you can also see that she has the wireless emitter, and that's what I was talking about. She's able to kind of hack things through walls as long as you can see them and whatnot. And that's kind of the thing. Now, right here, you unlock after you beat the first mission. A guy named Monster. He kind of sells you. He sells you items and whatnot. Every once in a while, he'll contact you, I guess, with a deal. I don't know if it's much of a deal, but he definitely sells you stuff. And I'll actually buy the first one here because it seems very, very useful to me anyways. I think it's useful if I can use it. Now, I hope it's not like a one-and-done kind of thing. I hope I can use it continuously. That's the only thing I was worried about when I bought it. So that'll be interesting to see how some of these items work, if it's kind of a one-and-done thing, or can I continuously use it and keep going. My map opens up now. I got all these different places to go. Further away I am from where I'm at, it takes more hours to do. I only have 62 hours remaining. And then the whole thing up there with the hours is that Incognita only has a certain amount of power left in her because she's not back at her base anymore. So she only has a certain amount of hours left. And I don't know if things increase or whatnot. But as you see, I get an incoming message from Monster. He says, hey, look, you get this decoder thing. It has a cooldown, so I guess it is something that it's not one and done. I can use it more than once. If it has a cooldown, that's what it means to me. What it does is unlocks things in 2 turns instead of having to actually find the lock. And in that last mission, that would have came in use because then I wouldn't have had to find that guy. I could have just went through. And I kind of look around, and I gave it to her because he already has an item. I didn't actually check to see his augments up there, what that is. But you know, each character, I guess, starts out with augment. As you can see, I can add another one to them. And what I decided to go with here is I went with speed because I think that, to me, is the most important for me right now. I could be wrong. I'm not saying. So it does add 1 movement. It doesn't add 1 AP. I don't think that means 1 AP. I think that means I can move further in 1 turn is what I think that means. That'll be interesting because what if I can't? What if I don't have enough AP to move as far as I can move? Right? So maybe it is. Maybe it is AP. It doesn't actually say. I think it would say AP. So we'll see. As I play the game, we'll see more. So that's kind of the end of this, guys. Definitely thanks for watching, you know, as always. And if you want me to do kind of a playthrough on this or let's play, just let me know down in the comments. But I will definitely check you guys out later. So as always, peace.